Do you really need to upload hundreds of videos and get thousands of views to be able to make money on YouTube? Absolutely not. And I wish somebody had told me this when I first started making videos 4 years ago, because it took me 2 years of uploading consistently before I saw my first dollar on YouTube. But I don't want that to happen to you. I want to show you that you can actually make money from your first video on YouTube without waiting to get monetized, without relying on views or subscribers, without even relying on brand deals or affiliate marketing. If you follow this video step by step, I can guarantee that you will be able to make your first $100 from your channel by the end of this week. So grab your notebook, hit subscribe, and let's get started. Now, the first thing you need to do if you want to make money from day one on YouTube is finding your zone of genius. What exactly is that? It's your unique area of expertise where you provide information in a particular field that people are actively looking for but are struggling to find. Take Dara Denny's channel, for example. She focuses on the topic of media planning and buying, a niche topic that is incredibly valuable but not widely covered. She doesn't need millions of views because her content is hyper relevant to a specific audience. And for that audience, she is indispensable. She answers questions that very few other people do, which makes her an authority in the space. Or you can take our journey on this channel. When we first started, we created content for anyone looking to make a video. We covered everything from Facebook ads to YouTube growth and so much more. But it didn't really result in much, mostly because we were competing in an oversaturated space and hoping for something to stick. But when we realized that there are a lot of unanswered questions about faceless YouTube channels, we narrowed down our focus, started digging deeper and deeper, and that resulted in us gaining a dedicated audience who comes to us for answers. Now, most people on YouTube do the opposite of this, right? They try to create content in oversaturated spaces for oversaturated topics, trying to work the algorithm. And this results in a lot of generic videos that struggle to compete with each other, and as a result, don't end up getting a lot of traction. But when you find your zone of genius, you get out of this rat race completely. You now make the algorithm work for you as opposed to working for the algorithm. But how exactly do you find your zone of genius? Simply by answering these three questions. What problem do I understand very deeply? Think about your job, your hobbies, your life experiences. What challenges have you personally faced and overcome? For example, let's say that you've been working as a media buyer for the last 10 years. You will have so much insight into this field. You will know the ins and the outs, the challenges faced, and you will know what works and what doesn't. Anybody entering this field of media buying will benefit from your insight. The second question is, what problem do I know how to solve better than 99% of people? Now, it doesn't just have to be something to do with your job. You, for example, could have lost 20 kgs as a busy professional without compromising on your health or the fun in your life. That is insane insight that most people still haven't figured out how to do. So if you can show busy professionals how to lose that weight and maintain it, they'll be more than happy to come to you for that advice. And the third question you need to answer, which set of people face this problem with the same context that I do? Now, let's say that you're a busy professional who works a 9 to 5 who learned German in just a few months, and you can now write and speak the language fluently. You know the struggles of language acquisition when you're short on time. So instead of generic tutorials, you focus on helping people who are also in the same boat, people who don't have a lot of time but want to perfect this language. When you do this, you are able to create content in your zone of genius. Now, once you answer these questions, you will find which area it is where you are able to help real people overcome real challenges. And that is how you build trust in the process. As a result, they want to binge your content and they're willing to pay for more in-depth guidance. This is where you create something that makes them pay for in-depth guidance. Now, once you understand your zone of genius, where your expertise lies, it is time to turn that expertise into a product that you can sell. Now, this can be something small like an ebook, a downloadable PDF. If you are somebody who teaches video editing, for example, you could sell custom LUTs. If you are a language teacher, you could sell a workbook that helps people advance in just a week. things like that. If you want to dig deeper, you can do something big like an entire course on the subject. Dara Denny, for example, has a course on media buying for people who are interested. Now, if this is your first time selling anything on the internet and your first time on YouTube, I would highly recommend starting small with something that doesn't involve multiple layers and steps, simply because it'll be a lot easier to set up and it can get the ball rolling. Once you have some revenue coming in, you can then upscale and create your course. Now, before you actually create the product, it's a good idea to do additional online research to see what other people, if there are any in your domain, are selling and how they seem to be doing it. So for instance, if you're a video editor, you want to search for what other video editors are selling. If you're a media buyer, see what other media buyers are offering in the market. And you don't need to just stick to YouTube to do this research, because not all fields will have dedicated creators and videos on YouTube. Spend a good few hours on multiple social media platforms and even on Google to make a list of things that other people in your domain, in your niche, are selling. This gives you a very good starting point. This also gives you an idea of where there are gaps in the market and what is a potential product that you can create to bridge that gap. Now, once you're clear on what you want to sell, you then go ahead and create it. Creating a digital product, something like an ebook or a PDF, is actually super simple. All you need is the information, which you should already have because you are an expert in the field, and then a tool like Canva that allows you to turn it into a downloadable resource. You can even use pre-existing templates on Canva to make things easier for yourself. It doesn't have to be complicated. Now, once your product is designed, let's say that it's an ebook, you will need a website where you can host it or from where people can purchase it. Now, this is something that you need to set up before you even set up your YouTube channel, because this is the link using which people will buy that thing. And that's how you start making money. Now, there are multiple platforms you can use for this. One of the most popular ones for digital products is Gumroad, where it is super easy to set up your shop and actually sell anything. It just takes 10 minutes to set up and you can start selling, literally. You can even build your own email list here, which is a win. Linktree is another popular platform for selling, although it's a little more restrictive than Gumroad. There are also more traditional platforms like Etsy, Shopify, Squarespace, and Wix. These are full-fledged website platforms, but they're a lot more complicated to set up and start with. I would highly recommend Gumroad to go ahead with this. And then once your product is designed and set up to sell, you are ready to start creating content that sells it, and you're ready to start making money. Now, we've already established that the fastest way to make money on YouTube is to establish yourself as an expert. But if your expertise does not get seen, you are not going to make any money. So how do you get seen? Simple. You tap into what people are already searching for but are struggling to find solid answers to. So start by listing out the key concepts in your field that are either super important to understand but are often misunderstood, or that are super hard to find good resources on, or that are misrepresented or not explained in an actionable way. For instance, if you're a media planner, you would want to know things like what kind of creative formats work best on Meta in 2025. Do UGC ads still perform well on Meta? How do you optimize media buying for lower CPMs? Or if you're a faceless YouTube creator, for instance, you would want to know things like what are the mistakes faceless creators continue to make so that you can avoid them? How to find topics for faceless channels that actually get views? If you're a German language learner, you will want to know things like what are the easiest ways to start thinking in German instead of translating? Or how do native speakers actually use sentence structure in daily conversations? Now, once you've listed these crucial topics, you need to go on YouTube and search for videos on these topics. Pay attention to topics where there is a clear gap. Either no content exists on this or existing content is vague and outdated. And the second is videos with comments where people are asking for more details or requesting related content on. Your video topics should come from the intersection of what is important and what is missing on YouTube. And to make this process even easier, you can leverage keyword research tools like vidIQ, because it simplifies the process even further, so you don't have to spend a lot of time every single week on doing this. You simply need to connect your YouTube channel to vidIQ and then use the keyword research tab to search for keywords related to your industry. So you've already finalized, topics that are important. Search for those topics using the keyword tool on vidIQ. vidIQ will give you multiple different sections in response to this. One of those sections is the question section, which reveals what questions people are actively searching for on YouTube. And these are their biggest problems. So go ahead, check out the questions related to your keyword and check the search volume and the competition conversion metrics for each question. So if a question has high search volume but low competition, that is a gold mine. That is a question that has a lot of traffic coming in but not a lot of content supporting it. If your expertise aligns with that question, it becomes a video topic for you. If not, you move down the list till you find one that fits. And as you start posting videos on your channel, vidIQ will also start suggesting top keyword opportunities which are fresh, high potential topics specific to your niche. Now, by following this strategy, you are not just making videos, you are actually filling knowledge gaps and positioning yourself as the go-to expert from day one. Now that you understand what questions your audience is exactly asking and what problems your audience is facing, it's time to move on to step number 4, where you actually make your videos. And you do not need to overthink this step. You need to make it as simple for yourself as possible. Since you're already an expert on the topics, you will not have an issue with the information itself. Simply note down the points that you want to cover in a video and get started with creating. The quicker you do this, the quicker you start making money. If you're comfortable on camera, you can speak directly into the camera like Dara Denny does. This works great for videos in the coaching space where you don't need a lot of visual cues to explain the concept. If you want to teach a particular concept that does require you to show it visually, you can record your screen and your voiceover to explain the concept, and you can use a tool like Loom to do this. This works great for any sort of tutorials, especially ones like this. You can even use generative AI tools like InVideo to create a full-fledged video on a topic from scratch without having to worry about shooting or editing or anything. Improvement Pill, Bible in a Nutshell, these are channels that utilize this sort of method to explain their concept. The point is that you don't need to worry about fancy edits and spending hours on production. As long as your information is explained effectively and it answers questions people want answers to, you are golden. Your job then actually becomes to get your video in front of as many people as possible from the pool that is searching for it. And to do that, you need to focus on just one thing: your packaging, aka your title and your thumbnail. The reason that this is important is because when your video gets in front of your target audience, they need to understand what you are going to showcase in the video to actually want to click on it. This means you need to clearly communicate to viewers what problem your video is solving. No confusion, no over-the-top gimmicks, just direct, crystal clear messaging. Again, if you look at Dara Denny's channel, you can see that her packaging clearly communicates two things: what problems she's solving in the video and who it is for. In thumbnail 1, she's teaching people how to become a media buyer, and it's for people without a degree in marketing. In thumbnail 2, she's solving the problem of analyzing Facebook ads, and it is for beginners who want to become experts. Super simple, super effective. Now, when you are creating your video, you also need to plug in and talk about your product or the service that you're offering within the video to actually drive conversions. The simplest way to do this is to put a call to action to your digital product at 2 or 3 places. Like if I told you to go check out the link in the description to see what InVideo has to offer, right? And you want to do this at 2 or 3 places within the video. First should be right after the intro, like how we ask you to subscribe right after the intro. Then somewhere about halfway into the video, and then one towards the end of your video for people to go download the digital asset or to sign up for an emailer or whatever it is that you're offering. This ensures that your most engaged audiences get the reminder to do this, and you can increase your conversions. And of course, make sure to include the link to your product in your YouTube channel bio and at the top of the description for every single video that you publish. And that's it. If you follow this blueprint step by step, you will not only make money from day one, you will build a YouTube channel that keeps growing, keeps making money, and actually gives you control over your income. But if you really want to future-proof your channel and scale it even faster, you need to understand where YouTube is heading in 2025. That is why we analyzed over 500 faceless channels to break down exactly how the YouTube algorithm is changing this year and how you can use those changes to your advantage. Think of it like this: it's always easier to swim with the current than against it. So I highly recommend that you go check out this video next and let us know in the comment what is your zone of genius. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.